Hi everyone, to best prepare you for Diablo Immortal release, I want to talk about an important system for your character progression, and this is Paragon Experience. You might already know the system from Diablo 3, and also they have already previewed some of its aspects in Diablo 4, and it also exists in this game. But it does have its own intricacies and working mechanisms that are completely different. So let's get into it. As you progress through the campaign in Diablo Immortal, you'll eventually reach level 60, which is the maximum character level. And from that point forward, you will unlock Paragons and the endgame difficulties, Hell 1 and beyond. And the Paragon level is this blue number next to your character portrait. And reaching maximum level means the journey has only just begun, as you will keep grinding Paragon levels from that point forward that give you small bonuses every time. Each time you level up, you will get one Paragon point that you can assign to wherever you want in those different Paragon trees that are available to you. These Paragon levels are designed to be an infinite system, giving you a tiny bit of character power every single day to reward you for your efforts, for your grind, even if you don't get any kind of big item upgrade that day. At least you get this. And the way this works is that there is a so-called server Paragon level, and this increments by 2 every single day. So it starts at 0 when the game launches, when a fresh server is released, and then it goes +2 every single day. And this represents, so to say, the upper realistic limit of what you can farm. So unlike, for example, in Diablo 3, you don't have an incentive to farm experience all day, every day, forever, but instead you try to farm to this Paragon limit that increases slowly over time. And the good part about this is there will be catch-up mechanisms, so that when you fall behind in Paragon levels, you will have an easier time catching up to where you get multiple times the amount of experience you would usually gain, so that when you go inactive for a while or you simply don't really play that much, you will always stay kind of close to this upper ceiling. Well, it also means that if you want to grind a lot, you will actually be able to kind of stay ahead of the Paragon level by a little bit, but it will be extremely difficult to do so, and you will very quickly fall back to this ceiling again if you don't keep up an insane grind every single day. What it means is that when you play the game a lot, you will dedicate a little bit of time every single day to just farm experience, to stay on top of the Paragon level. But you can do this with many different activities, and depending on how much you play, you will basically get it on the fly. While people that don't really play a lot, they have an easy time to catch up as well. So through the server Paragon system, everyone is going to be roughly on equal footing when it comes to the Paragon levels. And this means that you also unlock the higher hell difficulties at roughly similar time frames. So everyone slowly moves up in the difficulties, everyone slowly moves up in the Paragons, and those tie in directly into certain other mechanics like set items, legendary items, and just the quality of loot that you can find. So as you can see in this game difficulty overview here, the normal difficulty is basically the story mode, level 1 to 60, and afterwards in the end game you're gonna have these hell difficulties. There is a little bit of overlap, so you can see Hell 1 lasts from Paragon 1 to 60, and Hell 2 starts at 30, but then goes to 130, and then Hell 3 starts at 90. So you do have a bit of like a range, so that if the next difficulty feels a bit too hard for you, then maybe you can keep grinding in the previous one for a little bit. But eventually you're gonna slowly progress out of those difficulties towards the higher ones. And Hell 4 difficulty, which is the highest difficulty in the game at launch, starts at Paragon 160. So if you divide this number by 2 for the server Paragon level, this would mean that roughly 80 days or around 3 months into the game's lifespan, we will be able to reach this difficulty, and it will last up to 150 days or around 5 months. And we can totally expect that over time we get more Paragon trees and more points to spend, and we also get more game difficulties. So there's going to be Hell 5, Hell 6, Hell 7, Hell 8, Hell 69 at some point, each with their own Paragon ranges and the offensive and defense rating requirements that you will grind up over time. The main reason to grind up those Paragon levels and go to the higher difficulties is that you get better loot. So first of all, you're gonna start unlocking set items at Hell 1, and then they're gonna unlock more set items at Hell 2. And afterwards, you're gonna have access to all of them. You just get better stats. And this applies to legendary items as well. So they roll higher ranges, and this allows you to keep progressing on your character and continuously grind good loot that you want to equip over time. If you want to stay exactly at the server Paragon level and you want to do this grind every single day, you can expect to spend roughly 1 to 2 hours on this if you try to farm experience efficiently in groups, for example doing dungeon runs. But there are various ways of getting a lot of experience, and again, depending on how much you play, you will basically get it on the fly. And finally, let's look at those different Paragon trees. So there are 5 different trees that you can choose to spend your points on, and they unlock over time. So you start with 2, and then every 50 levels you unlock another tree. And you can spend a total of 100 points in each of those trees. So where you spend the points does actually matter because of the different bonuses you gain. And each of those trees has 95 points to spend on passive bonuses that are these round nodes here. And then there is 5 specialization skills in each tree that give you a certain ability or certain proc, and you only have to spend 1 point in each of them. Also very important to mention is that those different Paragon trees can be active or inactive. So what this means is that those 5 special abilities of each tree need to be chosen, and you can't have all of them from all trees at once. So the first time you unlock Paragons, you will have to select a tree to be active in the top right corner. It is off by default, and this is a very simple mistake you can make. So the first time you unlock a Paragon tree, you will have to go to the top right corner and check it to be active. You can have one at a time, and this activates those specialization abilities. When you look at the Paragon overview, you're also going to see which one is active. And for example, you see the check mark here in the top left on the Vanquisher tree. And early on in the game's lifespan, you're not going to be swapping this around very much. But once you have gathered multiple hundreds of Paragons after some months, you will slowly start switching around those Paragon trees depending on your activities, because they have special abilities that help you out in certain scenarios. There's damage tree with Vanquisher, there's like a PvP focus tree with Soldier, and there's a treasure hunter tree, which is very nice for like open world farming. So you definitely want to try to just choose the right one for whatever you're doing at that moment, once you have all of those trees unlocked. If you want to know what to spend your points on exactly to get the most out of them, you can refer to our class guides on maxwell.gg. And if you scroll down here to the Paragons, you have the Paragon trees and you can see the progression. So there's a slider here, so it shows you where to spend your points step by step as you progress higher. As I mentioned earlier, those round passive points, they always apply to you. And it's only those squares, the special abilities of each tree, that are either active or inactive, depending on which one you choose. So you typically want to optimize for damage, which is a very useful stat in all scenarios. But there are other useful passives that you can go for. For example, life is there, and there's armor penetration, which is also very useful. And you can find like similar stats in all of those trees. Keep in mind that our recommendations here are mostly focused on PvE content and to be efficient in dungeon runs, in raids, and these kind of things. If you want to focus more on PvP, you definitely want to take a different path, and we have the class PvP guides here where you can go check out the differences. And we know that there will be some way to reset Paragon levels, but we don't know exactly how often you will be able to do that. And especially down the line, once you unlock different trees, you can use them for different activities. And I think it's going to feel quite exciting. And personally, I'm also excited to see what other Paragon trees they have planned for the future of the game. Because right now there are 5 trees in the game, and each of them with 100 points. So this means that it will last for 250 days. And every other Paragon tree they will add will last for another 50 days. So 1.5 to 2 months. And yeah, eventually we're going to have a lot of different Paragon trees to choose from, to spend our points in and max them out. So to sum it up, Paragons are important for your endgame character progression. They give you passive points and the ability to choose a certain passive tree that gives you certain extra abilities. And over time, you will unlock more and more of them so they can choose which one to use. Going over every single passive point is a bit too much for this video, but I can recommend you to go check out this Paragon post, maybe check out the different bonuses that you gain here, just to get a bit of a better idea before the game launches. We also have a recommendation here that will just highlight what the tree is used for, but it is usually also quite self-explanatory from the name of the tree. So I'm gonna leave you with this. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more Immortal content, and good luck on launch. See you guys next time.